My child, come closer and listen to me, for today I want to speak to you through a story. A story that may feel ancient, yet it carries the heartbeat of everything you are going through. Let me take you to a small village surrounded by hills, where the mornings were quiet and the evenings carried the fragrance of burning lamps. In that village lived a young boy named Elior, a boy with a heart gentle enough to feel every sorrow around him, yet strong enough to hide his own tears from the world. He would wake every morning with the same question in his heart. Why does life feel heavier for some and lighter for others? Why do some receive answers quickly, while others wait through seasons that seem endless? One day, Elior walked up a narrow path leading to the hillside. He was tired, not from climbing, but from carrying questions that no one around him understood. His mother had fallen ill, his father had lost work, and the house that once echoed with laughter had grown silent. Elior prayed every night, but the sky felt far and the silence felt closer than hope. As he reached the top of the hill, he whispered something he had never dared to say aloud before. "God, are you still listening to me?" My child, in the moment those words left his lips, I was already beside him. And I want you to know that just as I stood with Elior, I have been standing next to you. You may not feel the warmth of my presence every day, but I have been closer to your heartbeat than your own breath. I have listened to every prayer, even the ones you spoke through sighs or tears. Elior thought his prayers were lost, but I was collecting each one, shaping a path for him that he could not yet see. As Elior stood on that hill, a storm began to rise. Winds swept across the valley, the sky turned darker, and fear wrapped around him. He wanted to run, but instead he heard a voice deep inside, gentle yet unshakable. "Do not be afraid." The storm grew stronger, trees bent, dust filled the air, and Elior felt helpless. But my child, it was in that very storm that Elior learned something he had never understood before. He realized that strength is not the absence of storms. It is the ability to stand within one and still believe in a sunrise. I want you to understand this, for your life too has been a storm recently. You have been trying to hold yourself steady while winds of uncertainty and waves of loneliness pushed against you. You thought the storm meant I was far, but the storm was where I was closest. Elior felt alone on that hill, yet my presence surrounded him like an unseen shield, the same way I surround you even now. When the storm finally settled, Elior looked around and saw something he had never noticed before. Small seeds scattered across the ground, seeds the storm had shaken loose from trees. Seeds that could not have been planted without the storm. My child, some blessings you will receive will not come gently. They will arrive disguised as disruptions, delays, or unexpected turns. The breaking you feel today may be the planting of something you will celebrate tomorrow. Elior walked back home slowly, carrying not answers but peace, not solutions but trust. He understood that God had been listening all along, even in silence. And today I want you to carry the same truth inside your heart. You have cried like Elior. You have wondered like Elior. You have feared like Elior. But my child, like him, you are not forgotten. You are not lost. You are not walking through your story alone. I am rewriting chapters you don't even know are changing yet. I am preparing moments you will one day call miracles. I am turning what you think is the end into the beginning of something deeply beautiful. Stay with me. Walk with me. Let me finish what I have started in you. My child, continue listening, for the story of Elior is also your story, and the lessons he learned are meant for your heart today. After that storm, Elior returned home to a house that felt smaller than he remembered, walls that carried shadows of yesterday's troubles. His mother's cough still lingered, his father's worry still weighed heavily, and the air itself seemed thick with unanswered questions. And yet, within him, a new sense of calm began to take root. He realized that the storm had not destroyed him. It had revealed the resilience already inside him. He understood that even in chaos, he was not abandoned, for the unseen hand of God had guided every step, every breath, every tear he had shed. My child, you too have been walking through similar storms. You have wondered why the world seems to move forward without you, Why others seem to receive ease while your journey feels so hard. You have asked me why prayers are delayed, why hearts break, why burdens grow heavier despite your faith. Listen to my words now. The delays are not denials. The breaks are not punishments. The storms are not signs of abandonment. Every trial, every season of waiting, every tear you release. I see it all. I hold it all. I am shaping it all. Just as Elior learned to trust the path he could not see, so too must you learn to trust me even when your vision is blurred. Days passed in the village, and Elior began to notice small miracles that he had ignored before. A bird singing at dawn, a flower blooming after the rain, neighbors offering help they hadn't offered before. The pieces of life that had seemed broken were quietly stitching themselves together. My child, blessings often arrive subtly, in ways so small that your heart must be attentive to recognize them. You think nothing is happening because you measure the world in noise and speed, but I measure the world in heartbeats and faith. I work in places invisible to the eyes, forming what cannot be rushed, shaping what cannot be forced, preparing what cannot be hurried. Elior learned that day that God's work is not always loud, but it is always perfect. He also learned forgiveness in the quietest of ways. Some of the villagers had wronged him, and some had hurt his family, yet Elior found himself praying for them instead of cursing them. He realized that forgiveness did not mean forgetting or condoning. It meant freeing his heart from chains that weighed him down. My child, you too carry burdens not just from your life, but from people who hurt you, situations that went wrong, and choices you regret. Let me tell you now, for every bitterness you hold, your heart carries a weight that is not yours to bear. Forgiveness is not for them alone, it is for you. When you release anger, resentment, and regret into my hands, you make space for joy, peace, and love to enter. Just as Elior prayed for those who hurt him and felt a lightness he had never known, so too can your spirit rise when you trust me with every wounded piece of your heart. Elior's father eventually found work again, slowly rebuilding their home, and his mother began to recover, though the path was still long. And yet Elior understood that recovery was not instant. It required patience, persistence, and faith. My child, your journey too may not show results immediately. The seeds you have planted through your prayers, your endurance, your sacrifices, and your hope may take time to bloom. But they will bloom. The storms that seem unending, the pain that seems unbearable, the delays that seem unfair, all of these are shaping a harvest far greater than you can imagine. You may not yet see the flowers, but trust that they are growing. You may not yet feel the warmth of relief, but it is already moving toward you. You may not yet hear the answers, but they are being whispered into your life even now. And there is something else Elior learned, that courage does not come from avoiding fear, but from walking through it. My child, you have been afraid. You have feared failure, rejection, loneliness, and uncertainty. You have doubted your worth, your purpose, your strength. And yet, like Elior, you have taken one step, then another, even when your heart trembled. That is faith. That is resilience. That is the quiet power that I have placed within you. You do not need to see the entire path to keep walking, and you do not need to understand every moment to keep trusting me. Faith is not in the absence of difficulty, it is in my presence within it. Elior began to help others quietly, offering small acts of kindness to those who had not noticed him, comforting friends in pain, and assisting neighbors who struggled with tasks too big for one person. He discovered that love multiplies when shared, and that healing begins when you extend it to others. My child, even your small gestures of love, your soft words, your patient heart, are seeds I am planting. They carry the potential to transform not only your life, but the lives of everyone around you. Your kindness is never wasted, your compassion is never overlooked, and your faithfulness is never forgotten. Every act you perform from a place of love is a reflection of me within you. And then, one evening, Elior sat on the same hill where he had once prayed desperately for guidance. The sun set in hues of gold and crimson, and he realized that the storm he had feared was now behind him. The seeds scattered by the wind had taken root, and he could see the beginnings of a new season. My child, this is the same message I want to place in your heart today. The storms in your life, the heartbreaks, the losses, the delays, the unanswered prayers, they are all part of a bigger picture, one that you cannot fully see yet. But I can see it. I am painting it. I am arranging every detail, guiding every step, and preparing every blessing for you. Elior understood finally that God's timing is perfect, even when it doesn't match human expectations. My child, your timing is my timing. Your delays are not denials. Your setbacks are not punishment. Your struggles are not signs that I have abandoned you.